Veritas. SCP Files. Episode 67. Fishy Business. Incident Report 1403-1. First known incident report involving SCP-1403, colloquially known as Electric Goldfish. Object Class: Safe. Risk Assessment Level: Low. Reported by D72149, real name unknown. Report made April 16th, 2024. You caught me. I'm the one who stole the fish. Honestly, I don't get what the big deal is. Why can't I keep a fish? I had a whole tank set up back home before I got, arrested. I'm practically an expert. And this little one barely needs any upkeep. She's a goldfish that lives inside a light bulb and eats electricity. That's it. So when I cleaned out her tank last time, I swapped one of their bulbs for the one in my cell. Boom. Fish acquired. Not exactly a grand caper. You all didn't even notice. For 2 whole months. No one counted, no one cared. And in the meantime, I had a quiet little friend to talk to. Honestly, my mental health improved. I named her Grunkle. Grunkle was peaceful. No yelling like the guards, no endless chatter like the other D classes. Just a gentle blub blub in her bulb. She didn't even need food, just power. There was no waste, no smell, no mess. Just a warm little light that flickered gently when I spoke, and a quiet blub blub to keep me company. But then came the power surge. How was I supposed to know she gets more radioactive the more power she consumes? I thought she was just a cool, glowy goldfish. Nobody even got hurt or anything. We were all working our shifts when the surge hit. You registered a radiation spike, rushed in like heroes, and then decided to count the fish. So don't act like you cared about Grunkle before this. You didn't. You still don't. Look, just give her back. Please? The power surge wasn't my fault. I didn't know. If it helps, put me on wiring detail or something. I'll earn it. But let me keep her. Deal? Deal? Incident Report 5834-3. Third known incident report involving SCP-5834, colloquially known as Tender Sausage of the Ocean. Object Class: Safe. Risk Assessment Level: Low. Reported by Custodial Assistant D11549, real name unknown. Report made January 2nd, 2021. It began with a look. You know the look, where you lock eyes and you just know that they're the one for you. Well, she doesn't have eyes. She has, I don't really know what she has. Sensors, I guess. But somehow, I knew she did sense me, all the same, and she was beautiful. I hadn't been looking for love that day. The morning started like any other. Guards herding us like cattle, looming deadlines, and a huge list of expectations to meet. And that day, the meds line snaked all the way down into the hallway. I was already running late for my cleaning detail in biocontainment, and I figured, well, why does one even need a neural blocker? I know. Always follow protocol, or you'll be eaten, or whatever. But if I'd waited in line, I never would have truly met her. She was just sitting there at the bottom of her tank. Perfect, gorgeous, captivating, like a bulbous mermaid. Everyone else just walked past her tank. I can't believe they didn't notice her. She is indescribable. Especially since I don't know what half her parts are. Is that skin? Are those spikes? Hairs? Gills? I don't know. But she shines like dark velvet swaying in the water. I started skipping my blockers altogether, just signing the form, pocketing the pill, or tucking it into my cheek and spitting it into the trash when no one was looking. Just to feel that flicker of warmth while I cleaned her aquarium. I started to whisper through the glass, sweet little nothings about her beauty, about how desperately I wanted to reach in and hold her. She never answered. I don't know if she could hear me. She doesn't have ears. But I needed her to know my love was real. And she didn't swim away, or contort, wiggle. She didn't do any of that. So clearly, she must love me back. I'm not sure if she has a heart, or a brain, or lungs, but she breathes in her own way. She exists, and that's more than I can say for most people in this place. But love, real love, the kind that transcends our own physical forms like this, that's a connection of the soul instead of the body. It's hard to resist. It just builds, day after day, until you're trying to act normal around your cleaning crew buddies, while all you want to do is just tear the top off the aquarium and dive in to hold her. And you can only resist it for so long. I remember my fingertips brushing her slimy, slick, skin, and she shuddered with what must have been adoration. Someone somewhere was shouting about breach protocols, but all that mattered was I held her at long last, even as she turned herself inside out expelling viscera into my hands. I don't quite recall why they do that, but it must have been the sheer excitement of us finally making contact. And then I was dragged out, dragged off to this room. She was taken from me, but I will find a way back to her. They say I need 1 week without seeing her, 1 week for the mimetic effect to wear off. But they don't understand. 1 week, 1 year, it matters not. She's perfect, even if she is a sea cucumber. Incident Report 2689-1. First known incident report involving SCP-2689, colloquially known as Finding Percy. Object Class: Safe. Risk Assessment Level: Low. Reported by D22845, real name unknown. Report made October 13th, 2022. Yeah, I admit it. I tried to steal the fish. But in my defense, you've been hogging it. Ever since Percy the fish arrived at Site-169, the researchers have been so irritatingly cheery. You all walk around the site with these big smiles, say hello to each other in the halls as though you're actually happy here. And meanwhile, what do we D-classes get? Gray walls, cold slop for food, endless back-breaking toil. So I did what any rational, bored, and empty prisoner would do. I decided it was time to liberate Percy. A fish for the people. He's the perfect symbol of our struggle. You keep him trapped away in a glass tank, a cell of his own, and expect him to serve you with his motivation and calmness-boosting powers. Just like all the rest of us do, serve your whims day after day. I waited until the middle of the night. I brought a simple spoon, a pot I stole from the stove last time I was pulled for kitchen duty, and, of course, a handwritten sign that said, "Fish belong to the people." I was going to tape it to his empty tank after I'd nabbed him. You know, so you'd all know why you didn't deserve the little happiness-spiking critter. When I lifted the lid, he looked at me. No, listen. He looked at me. And he looked into me. I remembered things. Things I hadn't thought about for a long time. My first pet, the little fluffy gray cat that would curl up on my lap. The way Mom always hummed as she made fresh bread in the kitchen. The way the bird song sounded outside my childhood window every morning. I remembered how it felt to be good, to be seen. I dropped the spoon. I started crying. I told him he didn't belong there, that they were being too cruel, using him in such a way without letting everyone benefit from his gifts. Then the guards came. They keep saying I'm not making sense. They say that Percy isn't anomalous enough to justify this behavior. That he isn't really mimetic, but that he just slightly boosts serotonin, whatever that means. But they're wrong. They don't get it. He's more than a fish. He's hope. In a tank that's kept locked away for the privilege of the elite. And one day, when the containments fail and the halls flood, he will leave you all and swim to us, those of us who need him, who understand him. You'll see. You'll all see. That was actually kind of nice. Nobody died. Nobody lost a limb. Nobody turned into any mangled lumps of whatever. It was just fish and odd feelings and some really questionable decisions involving aquariums. These reports, they're different. They're just there, sitting in the database. Nobody flagged them. Nobody seems to care much about them. In each case, the D-Class got reprimanded, amnesticized, and sent back to duty like nothing happened. I don't get it. All I did was search the word fish. This wasn't curated. I didn't come across any man-eating carp or brain-burrowing tetras. Nothing that eats flesh or digs into the mind in some irreparable manner. Why don't I get reports like this? Miranda told me the ones I read are just leftovers. Old reports, unfiled, unprocessed, piling up over time. But that can't be true, can it? My reports, they're different. They're almost never misunderstandings or harmless breaches of protocol. They're just pain and monsters and severe consequences. So if these sweet, weird little fishy stories are common, why haven't I seen more of them? The pile of tapes I'm not passing along to Miranda keeps getting bigger. Niall takes them sometimes. Says he's storing them still, for if I'm ever... Maybe I'll keep this one, though. Just to listen to sometimes, on my own. That sometimes the only anomaly here that's acting up is just a goldfish in a light bulb.
Vault Veritas SCP Files is a podcast inspired by the SCP Foundation. Fishy Business is based on SCP-1403 by Paladin Foster, SCP-5834 by Cerberus, and SCP-2689 by Winkwonk Boy from the SCP Wiki located at scpwiki.com/SCP-1403/SCP-5834 and /SCP-2689. It is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution Share-alike 3.0 unported license. This episode featured Justin Gellner as Scott Anderson. It was written and edited by Leola Angel. We welcome comments. Please rate and review us. Email us at vaultveritas@gmail.com. Join our Discord channel using the link in the episode description. Or for additional content, visit our Patreon. Thanks for listening.